what they said. Is there any indication that she may have been transported outside the U.S.? At this point, we're not ruling anything out. Was there anything suspicious found inside or outside Madalina's home? We can't comment on anything that was found during those searches. Do we still have hope of finding her? Yes, we have hope of finding her. Are new tips still coming in? Yes, we are still receiving new tips. Where does this investigation stand and what's being done today to bring the girl home? We're doing everything we can to find Madalina. What was found at the Cojocari residence in the various searches with the DA's office? We can't comment on any of the items that were taken during those searches. How many other law enforcement agencies are involved in this investigation? Are they domestic or international? The FBI and the SBI from North Carolina are the primary agencies that have assisted us throughout this investigation. Are there any additional resources needed between those two agencies and the resources our agency has? We have all the resources we need at this time. Is there anything the public can do to help? Yes, you can continue to share Madalina's story and posts that the police department sends out. Have the mother and stepfather been forthcoming or cooperative with the investigation, or any further charges for Madalina Cojocari or Christopher Palmer are pending? We cannot comment on the details of that. What was the connection in Madison County, North Carolina, and was anything found? Again, we cannot comment on that. Have the extended relatives said anything more or sent additional messages to the community, and are they being considered for any crimes? Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and we cannot comment on that. There were reports of burning furniture in the Cojocari backyard before Madalina's disappearance. Is there evidence of that happening? Yes, there was one call for service in reference to Madalina Cojocari burning items before Madalina was reported missing. Do you believe Madalina is still alive? If yes, where do you believe she might be? Who do you think she might be with? And if no, what do you think happened to her? Again, our goal is to find Madalina. Do you believe Madalina could have been trafficked? Do you think it's possible her mother and stepfather could be responsible for that? This is an ongoing investigation, and again, we cannot comment on those details. Can you confirm if Christopher Palmer traveled to Michigan during the window of Madalina's disappearance? And what do you believe he did there? And what could be the significance of his trip as it relates to this investigation? Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and we cannot release those details. I would ask that each of you join us on the west side of our department, at 6 p.m. tonight for a public gathering to honor Madalina for her 12th birthday. And that's all I have for the prepared statement at this time.
Chief Bachman, if I may, we've talked a lot about this remaining a priority. Are you able to say that this remains a priority? Is, you know, if needs are becoming more scarce, how long will this remain a priority?
Finding Madalina is our top priority. It has been since she was reported missing, and we'll continue to search for her until we find her.
And do you know how many resources or personnel you have on this case or investigation on it?
It varies from day to day, but we still have our individual resources, but we also have the resources of the SBI and FBI who are working on this case as well.
And I know you're not allowed to really reveal any details at this time. You said, are you able to reveal, is this going well? Is there anything, are there steps that are
the investigation is progressing. That's about all I can say.
Chief, can you speak to the part about whether or not parents, usually in a case like this, you may hear early on that there are certain suspects or persons of interest. Can you at least speak to if you all have suspects or persons of interest?
That's all part of our investigation, and I can't comment on any of those specifics at this time.
So following up on that, let me just, if I may politely press you on that. It's been some months now, and we have heard that consistently, that there's
Right.
a lot in this case that you will not and cannot comment on.
Right.
Can you explain to people, since this has captured so much attention in a new way, why there is so much about this case that you cannot comment on?
We simply cannot jeopardize the investigation and any charges that may be forthcoming on anyone involved.
And what we have heard, if you commented more, that would jeopardize the
It could potentially jeopardize it, yes.
prosecution, or what?
All of the above. So that's why we're holding all the details we can close at hand.
Chief, are more charges forthcoming in this case?
As the investigation progresses, potentially, but at this time, I can't say one way or the other if they are.
Have you uncovered any evidence that would lead you or your team to believe that Madalina is still alive or perhaps not alive?
That's all part of our ongoing investigation, and I can't comment. Sorry.
Chief, have you considered whether keeping so much close to the vest has hindered this investigation in any way?
I have considered it, and I do not believe that it has.
Chief, are you hopeful for finding Madalina or for finding answers in all of this?
Absolutely. We're hopeful that we're going to find her and we're going to be able to answer all of your questions at a future time.
What is the break?
Well, if we knew what the break was, we would have it and we would be moving forward already. But there's information out there that someone in the public or someone has that we need to help us locate her. And again, that's been our goal from the start.
So you believe there's someone out there that knows something that's...
We believe there's information out there that could help us close out this investigation, yes.
Chief, can you speak a little bit about, speak to the community's frustration that there is so little known about this case, so much being kept close to the chest to protect the integrity of the investigation?
Not specifically, other than that's typical with any investigation of this scope. You know, we want to keep the community and the media and everyone as involved as we can, but we just simply can't.
Can you speak a little bit about the search warrants that were revealed back in February that indicated that Diana had spoken to a distant relative regarding possibly smuggling her and Madalina out of the home?
Yeah, I cannot comment on any of the specifics from the search warrant, sorry.
Was it the department's intention to keep those search warrants concealed?
In an investigation like this, yes, we want to keep all the information we can close at hand.
Do you foresee any additional charges coming against
I-
Ms. Cojocari or Ms. Thompson?
Again, I answered that in one of the earlier questions. That's all part of the ongoing investigation.
During, in the police report, I know that there was a time when the stepfather traveled to Michigan and so forth. Are you guys working with, like, other departments in other states, or, you know, was there any work being done?
We're working with the FBI and the North Carolina SBI, and the FBI would be the primary agency who would assist us in that type of lead.
One of the questions that have come about have pertained to a possible drug smuggling connection with one of Diana's relatives. Is that something you all are investigating or have ruled out?
Well, as I said in one of the earlier questions, we're not ruling anything out at this point.
So, following up on, since you believe there's someone out there, something or someone out there that may know more that could help this, any message for that person or that?
Please come forward and give us any information that you have, or if you know someone that has information, please provide it to us so that we can continue the investigation.
Chief, earlier in this investigation, your own department came forth releasing a video on social media stating that Madalina's parents, truthfully, you believe know more than they were letting on. Why now can the department not release more about their cooperation in the investigation?
Because the investigation has progressed, and we're just simply not going to release any more details about that.
At the end of the day, this is an 11 now, 12-year-old girl. We've talked about this. This is something that's close to your heart, and I'm sure to a lot of your officers who have families, who have kids that may be
Yes.
that age. How does this motivate your department even more? How is it kind of hitting your heart?
It motivates us just like it would motivate any parent or any community that had something like this happen. This is not something that any community ever expects to happen, and when it does happen, you know, we're going to do everything we can to resolve it.
Has your department, the FBI or the SBI, sent investigators overseas to Moldova or any other country connected to this case?
That's all part of the ongoing investigation, and I just can't comment.
And right now, as you guys are doing the investigation, there's nothing to indicate that she has passed away, and that she has died at your case.
Our goal is to find Madalina. That's the goal, either way. Anything beyond that is part of our ongoing investigation.
One question here.
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding is the mother and the stepfather remain behind bars. I spoke with one community member who was concerned about them being back in this community at some point. There weren't further charges. What would you say to that?
We will not have any control if they're released from jail and they come back to this community or go to another community.
Does it make you feel better that their passports have been suspended?
Yes.
How many neighborhood ring cameras or other business video surveillance footage have you guys looked at?
I don't have an exact number, but I can tell you that during the initial onset of the investigation, we canvassed that neighborhood and the surrounding area, and we got any and all videos that we could that would pertain to this investigation.
You know, following this, like, remembrance that you guys are doing and so forth, what do you want the community to take from this? This coming together and so forth, honoring her on her birthday?
That we're still searching for Madalina, and our goal is to find her, and we need the community's help to do that.
Within the last maybe 2 months, without saying what it is, have you found anything new? Have there been new information that's helped you in
We have new leads that come in, I don't want to say daily, but very often, at a minimum weekly, and sometimes possibly daily. And we follow up on everyone that we can, hoping that it may lead us to the information we need to locate her.
Chief, how involved in this case have you been intricately involved?
So when this case started, I was the police major, which is the equivalent of the assistant chief, and I was here during the first initial 48, 72 hours, pretty much nonstop. Now, after that, I had to begin the transition to my new position as our current chief was retiring January 1. So admittedly, I've been less involved due to my new responsibilities, but I still get regular updates on the progress of the case. All right. Anything else? You guys please just join us. Hopefully the community will come